important element of any live production today is a computer. You may want to see a presentation, a web page, or maybe even a web video. Bringing in an external computer's display is easy with the TriCaster. In this section, we will cover setting up the TriCaster on networks, installing and running IVGA on external computers, and using the network inputs for bringing in external computers' displays. We will also cover bringing in the output of NewTek software, bringing in Apple Airplay devices, and the output of other NewTek hardware like TriCasters and 3-Play systems in through the network input. Step 1 is to make sure the TriCaster and the external computer are on the same network. If you need to add your TriCaster to a specific network or to a specific domain, you will need to go to the administrator mode where you have access to the Windows networking controls from the network button. The easiest way to connect a laptop to the TriCaster is to plug in a standard Ethernet cable directly into the laptop and directly into the TriCaster. This will form a network connection between these two systems. You could also take a wireless hub, attach it to the TriCaster with a wire, and then log other computers onto that wireless network. This is how we can use our iDevices with Apple Airplay. So for my situation, I have a wireless hub attached to the TriCaster with a cable. I have a Mac and Windows-based machines also plugged in with a wire. The TriCaster comes with some client software called IVGA. There is a Windows version and 2 Mac versions, one for Mac OS 10.5 or before, and one for Mac OS 10.6 or later. These are available on the TriCaster itself. If you go to the administrator mode, you can click on Files on Disk. This opens a Windows Explorer window. Go to C, TriCaster, Extras, IVGA. Here you will see the different versions. This software is also available on the NewTek registration site for registered owners under My Downloads. Copy these off to a thumb drive to transport them to an external computer. Now you can run IVGA right from this thumb drive on an external Windows computer without installing anything. You could also drop IVGA onto the desktop and run it from there or into a folder. Now on a Mac, decompress the zip file and drag IVGA into Applications. You also want to put IVGA on the dock. There's also a README. Now to start IVGA on the external computer, simply double-click on its icon. The options for IVGA on an external computer are different for a Mac and a Windows-based machine. On a Windows-based computer, it will put a small TV icon in the icon tray in the lower right corner of the Windows desktop. You can right-click on this icon to get some options. The Setup menu allows you to first choose which display of the external computer will be sent to the TriCaster. Many computers work with 2 monitors. This control allows you to select which monitor will be seen by the TriCaster. Show Mouse Cursor allows you to show or remove the mouse cursor from the display that's being sent to the TriCaster. Refresh Overlay is like a reboot of IVGA. It's like starting and stopping the application. This can be used if you're troubleshooting a connection. Now you can choose the type of network you're going to be using. Gigabit is the fastest and most desirable connection. Check with your system's administrator if you are not sure of your network speed. Lower hardware acceleration may help in some cases where a client's computer's application is using non-standard display technology that would not otherwise work with IVGA. Next, you have zooming controls. These will zoom in on the display of the external computer and then follow the mouse cursor. This is great for distance learning or training computer software. There are keyboard shortcuts for zooming using the numeric keypad listed for zooming in and zooming out. There's also another keyboard command, and this will lock the screen so that mouse movement doesn't affect it. That's right Control 9. This means you can zoom in and drag the mouse to a location and then hit Control 9 to lock that location and talk about what you're seeing. Then hit Control 9 again to unlock it. Privacy sends a graphic out to the TriCaster so you don't have to show your computer display until you're ready. The About box shows the build number of the software. An exit will quit the IVGA application on the external computer. On a Mac, you can right-click on the IVGA icon in the dock to get options. You have a privacy mode to send the graphic until you are ready to send the display out in normal mode. You can send monitor 1 or 2 of the external Mac to the TriCaster. There are also some options for the Mac interface. Hide IVGA hides the icon on the Mac, and quit quits the application. Once you have the network connection set up and IVGA running and configured, it is simple to bring it into the TriCaster. The TriCaster 40 has 2 network inputs. From the input monitor, you can use this pull-down to select any computer running IVGA on the network. Once a Windows machine is selected, you can tell it is connected by looking at the small TV icon in the icon tray. The color bars on the screen are now scrolling across the screen. On a Mac, this is in the dock. Because there are 2 network inputs, you can connect 2 computers at the same time and do transitions between them on output. You could also be displaying one computer while setting up the next computer in the other network input, allowing you to roll dozens of computers in without ever swapping a cable. The network inputs in the TriCaster are very versatile, allowing other types of content to come into the TriCaster as well. There is a character generator called LiveText that can be run on an external Windows-based machine. If this is running and attached to the same network as the TriCaster, you can send its output into the network input with transparency, also known as alpha channel. This means you can create and modify titles and graphics on the fly externally from the TriCaster, and then feed them to the TriCaster live. LiveText allows for full-page graphics, overlay graphics, and motion graphics like scrolls and crawls. It also includes data link, allowing you to update your graphics from an external data source. Attach your graphics to a scoreboard system for real-time score and time updates. You can connect your graphics to an SQL database or even a text file to dynamically update your graphics. You could also bring in an RSS feed from the internet in real time. All possible with LiveText 2, a great add-on to run on an external PC and create an external graphics workstation for any TriCaster. Now, the iPad has become an essential part of the presenter's arsenal of tools. But getting content from an iPad or an iPod or an iPhone into a live production has not been easy until now. The network inputs in the TriCaster support Apple Airplay. Airplay is something that comes with most current iDevices. It's also available in iTunes on a PC or a Mac. To use this with your TriCaster, you will need a wireless network. Again, connect a wireless hub to the TriCaster with a wire. Now, log your Apple devices onto the wireless network. Whenever you play pictures or video that you recorded on the Apple device, you will see this icon. Click on it to reveal any devices that can receive an Apple Airplay signal, including the TriCaster. If there are multiple TriCasters on this network, they will all show up. Also know that this is a scrollable list. Try to push it with your finger. A tip to make sure you know which is to go into the administrator mode of each TriCaster and give it a unique name. To do this, go to the administrator mode and click on Files on Disk to open a Windows Explorer. Right-click on Computer and select Properties. Close the Windows Explorer. Now click on the Change Setting on the right side of the window. Then click Change to rename the computer. Type in a unique name and click OK. Once you select the network input, it will take a few seconds to negotiate the connection, and then your media from the iDevice will be shown on that network input. This technology will send full frame rate video with audio wirelessly across the network. It's like holding a DDR right in the palm of your hand. This is quite handy if you need a second or third DDR. You can even play out of iTunes on a Mac or a PC and send that across the network via Airplay. NewTek 3-Play systems and other TriCaster systems can send the program out from that system across the network to another TriCaster. Now, the TriCaster 40 cannot send out its output across the network in this way, but it can receive the output of other systems across the network in through a network input. If there is another TriCaster or 3-Play system connected to the same network as a TriCaster 40, they can send their program out with audio to one of the TriCaster 40's network inputs. This would allow you to set up a secondary production area, say an interview area away from the main stage, and then feed it into the main production.